So I've been thinking a lot over the past week or so on, what's currently happening. And I would say that it feels a lot like deja vu. A lot like deja vu, but I got to admit though, it does feel different. It feels different. And I think it feels different because, sorry about that little construction in the background, is that individuals are more aware. I think they're more aware. And I think they're more aware because they literally saw a man pleading for his life just to be able to breathe. And onlookers trying to stop it. And watch a man die with very little regard from the same individuals that are in that community to protect and serve. And things people watching, they're trying to think about, like, oh my goodness, if they were just there, I wish I could have done something. The stories might have happened, and if it wasn't filmed, like imagine if it wasn't filmed. All it would have been was just a story of somebody, resisting arrest and, died at the scene of the hospital. But because it was filmed, it gave people a different lens and they're more aware. I think when I think about this and look at this situation, I believe it's not about any type of revenge. It's not about people asking for a handout. I think what people are asking for is just consistency. Just consistency. What happens on one side happens to the other. A little bit about me. It's, I was born in Colorado. I'm the youngest of 6 kids. I'm a triplet. I have a twin brother and a twin sister. My dad came here in '76. He's a veteran. It's all that. And you're probably thinking, like, well, why does this matter? Well, it matters because I'm 35 and I have a little girl. Her name is Haven. She's 7 years old, and she, a couple of days ago, she came into the room and jumped into bed very early in the morning, sucking her thumb and just resting. And we ended up getting up and having breakfast and eating and doing work and homework, and she's drawing and just doing the day. Now, as you hear that particular day or you hear that particular narrative, it probably doesn't sound like the story or the profile of somebody that you should fear. And you shouldn't. It's not the profile of a criminal by any means. But what I believe that the video showed was the human side of individuals. That individuals that look like this are no different than individuals that look like this or this and that. That we're all just human no matter what this pigment that you have. And when I'm thinking about it for my daughter, and she's 7, I think about what is the world that I want her to live in. And I think about it where we are right now, and is this it? And like, no, it's not it. Because I believe that we can actually do better. I believe that we can do so much better. And as I'm thinking about where we are, I think a lot of people are now paying attention. And if they're not, and they kind of somewhat get it, but they don't, I'm gonna just, kind of a simple analogy story, even though it's very real, is I'm 6'3", 220 pounds. I'm a former athlete, professional athlete, and I can hold my own. And so when I'm walking down the street or walking into an alley or walking to my car, I don't have to worry to put keys in my hand in the hopes or the fear of not being assaulted physically or sexually. But for my little girl, or women, as a matter of fact, they may have to worry about that, or they do worry about that. And if I were to simply tell them that, what were you wearing, or why are you in that area, indirectly what I'm saying, and I'm trying to rationalize, is saying that, well, give me a reason for me not to care. And that's very, very dangerous. And the reason why that's dangerous is because just because you don't see it or experience it on a daily basis doesn't mean that it's not happening. And you not caring just allows you to live life while they still have to go into these parking lots and these alleyways by themselves in fear. So sorry. Like I said, construction. But the same thing's here. It is. You know, when individuals bring up, like, why are they protesting? They need to do it this way, or you know, why was he resisting, or what was in his system, or what's the backstory? Like, what you're really trying to say is to find a way to say why I don't care. And so when you look at why this is extremely important, it shouldn't be a privilege to walk to your car safely. It shouldn't be a privilege to simply not be taken by, or your life being lost by the same individuals that are supposed to protect and serve. It should be a basic human right. It should be a basic human level that we have for everybody, no matter how you look, no matter your disability, no matter what the situation. You know, I'm lucky. I'm a former professional athlete. I've been lucky to travel around the world and work for some amazing companies. But you know what? That badge, I don't get to wear on my chest, those credentials, because when people look at me, they see me, or they could see me in one particular way. And so, like I said, this isn't about revenge. It's not about handouts. It's about just consistency. The same way you treat one person, treat the same person or another person the same way. And now, you know, when I look at this, and a lot of people have been coming up to me and asking, so we're paying attention. Is there something that we can do? I'm like, yes. There's things that you can do, and then the thing is, people are already doing it. People are doing something. People are, you know, there's a video of a woman saying, don't deface this Starbucks, because this is not what we are about. When we're talking about Black Lives Matter, you see the sheriff from Flint, Michigan, you know, denouncing this behavior and, you know, joining on a walk, on the march with the citizens in this community. And there's so many individuals doing this type of behavior. And I'm, you know, for me, I would say I'm not in favor of any looting or any, you know, violence of any kind from either side. I'm not. But as we can think about doing things even at a smaller level or a local level, I do think there's things that we can actually do. And that can be, once we're actually able to see people for who they are, it might also change the way in the people that we decide to hire or bring into our companies or bring into our teams, or the organizations we decide to support, or the events we decide to go to, or the stories we decide to hear, or the narratives we decide to hold. See, we can do something. And the worst thing to do is simply to go back and simply just be an onlooker, or even just a passerby once your eyes are now open. And now some people might say, it's like, well, you know what, I get what you're saying, but I still have a problem with people that look like you. Maybe, I get it. You might have had a bad experience. Something may have happened. But what I want you to do is I want you to just change the perspective, change the story. Maybe instead of seeing me through the color of my skin, maybe you instead see me through both being parents, or, you know, we both like athletics, or whatever it may be, that we can find something to connect on instead of putting our pitchforks in the sand and standing on our individual lines and screaming back and forth at each other, because we know time and time again, if we don't see someone, we're not going to listen to them. If we don't see them, we're not really going to care what happens to them, positively or negatively. So it's really important that we take some time to find ways to connect, and we find ways to do something. You know, like I said, my little girl, she's Haven, and she's 7, and she really wants to be an artist. And she also wants to be a fairy, wants to be a fairy as well. And, you know, when we look out in the future, I believe that we can do more. And I think it's time that we start thinking about ways that we can actually come together instead of all of this separating, because we've already seen individuals come together, because I would love to be there to cheer her on, and I know that she would love for me to be there, and all of us to be there. And so I hope as we move forward, we no longer play ourselves as onlookers or just simple passerbyers, but that we can now begin to start paying attention and finding ways that we can get involved, because I think we're getting there. I do. And I do. So as we're moving forward, hopefully this was insightful, helpful, even just to share my story, and hopefully as you leave, you can ask people and have them share their stories literally on both sides, because I believe that there's something that we can do. And I think it's about time to do that. Thank you.